Hello everyone, Sunday Adelaja here. I'm back to you with a new genre that I've done a few before, but I did just to come back to you again with this genre that we call DSA values. So what are the values and the value systems that DSA has lived its life by, that he feels will be a blessing to the world? Now today, the value system that I'm going to be talking about is going to be in connection to the most important things in life. If you are asked to, a simple question, if you are asked to name three most important things in life, what would those three most important things in life be? I will tell you the guess of most people. Most people will tell you that the most important, leave God outside, okay? Let's leave God alone from this. But people will tell you that the most important things in life, three things in life, is probably myself, my health, money, family, children, spouses, parents. But when you are a student of the Lord Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is the greatest of all men that has ever lived, and he said or claimed that he is life. If he is life, he knows more about life than everybody else. So he's the author of life. And then he says, for you to really follow him and be a disciple, or for you to really be a personality or a success on earth, that's in other words, in a paraphrase, you actually need to be able to deny all those things that I just mentioned. You need to be able to deny your parents, your wife, your spouse, your children, and then take up your cross and follow him. So, meaning, the things that we exalt above all on earth are not always the most important things, at least in the eyes of God. So if those things Jesus said they needed to be denied, or you need to hate them or turn your back at them before you could even qualify to follow him, it means surely they will not be the greatest things on earth. They will not be the most important things in the world. If they were the most important things, he won't tell us to turn our backs at them. So, what is Jesus trying to teach us? And what am I hearing from his admonitions? I think, and the conclusion I've come to, is that what we value on earth is almost all the time the direct opposite of what God values. Most of the time, what we highly esteem is very lowly esteemed in eternity. So, what are the most important things on earth from eternity's perspective, or from God's perspective? How could you live your life in such a way that you know you hit the mark? How can I and you live our lives in such a way that we hit the mark? If I'm not going to be living for the family, not living for children, not living for job, work, not living for, father, mother, so what am I supposed to be living for? There are three things I would like to mention that are the most important things in life, but I'm going to mention them one by one. So I will do one this series, then I will come back for another series and give you another one. So there are three things that I could give more, maybe five things that are the most important things on earth, but that don't even include family. Let's leave God out. God has given us life. So, don't include family, don't include children, don't include job, don't include any of those. So what would be the most important things on earth? Let me tell you the first one today. The most important thing you will ever do in your life, and that your life is meant to do on earth, is number one today, which is stewardship. Remember that word, stewardship. Remember that word, stewardship. One of the most important things you will ever do on earth is to learn and to live your life as if you are a servant, a life of service on earth. Stewardship is one of the most important things on earth. You remember, this is DSA values. We are talking about value systems. The most important value for which you deserve, you should live, you deserve to live for, is stewardship. What is stewardship? Stewardship is about acknowledging the fact that life is service. Stewardship means that everything you do about life and in life, you are not doing for yourself. So if you are living for your family, you know what that means. You're living for yourself still. And Jesus said, what good is it for you if you do things for people who will thank you or who know you, or for yourself, for your family? What good is it? That's not stewardship. That's why family will never be the most important thing in life. It's important, but not the most important. Those people who live for family, for their families, for themselves, they are never remembered in history and in times and in eternity as well. You know those who are remembered? Those who have recognized that life is not about themselves. That life is about laying down their lives for other people. Even the crooked dictators, the horrible dictators like Mao Zedong, the dictator of China. But because he was a dictator, but because he lived his life in such a way as that he actually believed in what he was doing, and he believed that he had to give his life in service to his people, is ever going to be remembered, despite all the things he did wrong. Lee Kuan Yew is being celebrated today in Singapore. And not just in Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew is being celebrated all over the world. But you know, he was a dictator for 30 years. And the West today will condemn dictatorship, and they will try to train Africans and teach African leaders, you know, to hand over power after 4 years or after 8 years, that dictatorship is bad. But if not for Lee Kuan Yew, despite him not being democratic, but he understood something about service. And though he was a dictator, but because he gave his life to the service of his people, you know what? He will never be forgotten in the annals of history. Look at the great writers, look at the great painters, look at the great, historians, military people, the people who actually live their life as a service to other people. They are the only ones that are remembered in time and history. That's not the only thing, but that's probably one of the most important things that we are all here for. That's why everybody has a calling. That's why everybody has a purpose. That's why God has equipped everyone with one gift or the other, for you to use it as a service. That's why the purpose of wealth is not for you to just live big and to just live a fancy life for yourself. That's why if you are made to be rich, or if you are blessed enough to be rich or wealthy, or if you are just blessed with anything, you are blessed not for yourself. That's why God spoke to Abraham and told him that I am going to bless you, but I'm going to bless you just for you to be a blessing. So the purpose of blessing, therefore, is to be a channel. The purpose of blessing, therefore, is to be a canal. The purpose of blessing, therefore, is to be able to channel that blessing to other people. Service. Life is about service. That's what life is about. Life is about service. Life is not about self. Life is not about I. Life is not about myself. Life is not about me. Life is about me developing myself as much as I could. Maximizing my potential, and then laying it all down to make somebody's life better. Do you know why Jesus Christ is so much celebrated? And why he's the greatest man in history? And why billions of people are following him? He served, laid down his life as a service and a sacrifice great religious leaders. Have you ever wondered why a religion like Islam, that some of us think is a little bit violent, maybe not a little bit, and some other religions, why is it that religions are mostly most influential, and the people that the religious leaders have the most followers all over the world? Because religious leaders knew or know those great religious leaders like Muhammad, like Buddha, like all those religious leaders. They knew something about laying down their life to serve. Their life is served because they served, even though their theology might not be perfect or might even not be right, but because they have laid their life to serve, they will never be forgotten. When you lay down your life to serve, you are ever remembered. The same for political leaders, the same for scientists, the same for innovators, the same for inventors, the same for social reformers and nation builders, the same for transformation agents, the same for anybody that live a life of service, living and laying down their lives to actually indeed live for others, not just pretentiously, but indeed they are never forgotten. They will forever be remembered. You would like to live for time and eternity, or you just want to live for these 50 years or 70 years that you get to live on earth? Are you just here just for the 70 years? Or you are here for life and eternity? If you are going to be here for life and eternity and leave your footstep in the sand of history, you must learn to be a steward. Stewardship must be your keyword. More important than your need to marry. More important than your need to get children. More important than your need to get wealthy. More important than anything else in your life. Stewardship. If you have been watching our videos and maybe you enjoy them, maybe you don't enjoy them, but still, we need you to help us spread the word. And for that to happen, we only need you to take 5 little steps. Please help us spread this word by liking the video. Then, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We also need you to press the notification button. And the way to do that is to click on the bell. You see the bell there? Click on it. Then, of course, leave your comments. Let's know what you're thinking about each video. And finally, we need you to go and share the word. Share this video on your Facebook timeline, on your Instagram, and every other platform that you have. All right? Let's win the world for Christ. Thank you so much.